The 1985 Top Set has one of the most remarkable rookie classes in the history of the hobby. 5 players whose names became something much larger than the cards suggested. The cards were printed before any of that happened. Clemens, Puckett, McGwire, Saberhagen, and a young Mets pitcher they called Doc. Card 620 is Dwight Gooden. He was 20 years old when the 1985 set was printed. The card back runs red text on green background. Stats, bio, a trivia question with the answer printed upside down on the bottom. Harder to read than almost any other top set of the era. The colors work against each other. But collectors weren't looking at the back of Gooden's card much. They were just looking to find it. 24 wins and 4 losses, a 1.53 ERA, the lowest since Bob Gibson's 1.12 in 1968. 268 strikeouts, the pitching Triple Crown, the youngest Cy Young winner in history. New York knew what was happening in real time. A photograph of Gooden was mounted at the entrance to Penn Station, recording his strikeout totals as the season progressed. The number kept changing. His career peaked at exactly the moment his rookie card was sitting in packs. Elsewhere in the same 792 cards, there was more to find. The set opened with 10 record-breaker cards, featuring Nolan Ryan, Pete Rose, and Gooden himself, among others. Moments from the season before, documented before anyone had moved on. Further in, cards 131 through 143 were the father and son series, 13 pairs, more than what Topps had done in 1976. 2 generations on one card. Cards 271 through 282 were the first draft picks, 12 players selected first overall in previous drafts. Harold Baines, Darryl Strawberry. A lot of ways to slice the same 792 cards into smaller stories. And if you were collecting cards in 1985, you ran across card 181, Roger Clemens of the Boston Red Sox. A headshot, white border, the team name in a colored box running diagonally across the lower left. The Red Sox logo in a circle on the right. One image, one player. Topps had used 2 photographs on the front in the 1983 and 84 sets. In 1985, they went back to 1. He was 22 years old. In 1985, the season behind his card, he made 15 starts. He went 7-5, solid and promising. Just a pitcher in a Red Sox uniform. Nothing on the card suggested what the next 12 months would look like for Roger Clemens. On the other end of the set sat Pete Rose, not a rookie, not a prospect, but a 44-year-old player-manager appearing on 3 separate cards. He was player managing the Cincinnati Reds, still playing at 44 years old, still chasing Ty Cobb's all-time hits record, which had stood for 57 years. On September 11th, Rose stood in the batter's box at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati and singled to left center off San Diego Padres pitcher Eric Shaw. Career hit number 4192. A crowd of 47,237 watched it. A standing ovation lasted several minutes. Rose's son joined him on the field. The Reds' owner presented him with the Corvette. The record that everyone had assumed was permanent had just ended. 3 cards in the 1985 Topps set: Card 6, Card 547, and Card 600. What those cards don't show, what only a small circle of people knew in 1985, was that Rose had begun betting on baseball games that same year. His own team. The Dowd Report would document it 4 years later. He was banned permanently in August of 1989. In 1984, baseball was a demonstration sport at the Los Angeles Olympics. The following spring, those USA ballplayers showed up in packs. Cards 389 through 404, 16 of them amateurs in a set of full professionals. Card 401 is Mark McGwire, a USA uniform, 21-year-old. He had hit 32 home runs in his final season at USC, a Pac-10 record. He hadn't played a single professional game. When that set came out, nobody was particularly chasing it. Gooden was the chase card, Clemens was the chase card. McGwire's Olympic card was interesting. A young first baseman from a subset most collectors were still trying to figure out what to do with. Two of the most notable players on the 1984 Olympic team aren't in the subset. Will Clark and Barry Larkin were both on the team, but both still had NCAA eligibility remaining. Their appearance in the set would have compromised their amateur status. Topps couldn't include them. Their Olympic cards simply didn't exist. Nobody was stopping for card 536. Kirby Puckett, Minnesota Twins, 24 years old, 4 career home runs, a contact hitter in a set full of power arms and famous names. The card is in an action shot with a batting stance, and nothing about it demands your attention. It should have. Kansas City Royals rookie Brett Saberhagen was card 23. He was a 21-year-old in the photograph, a starting pitcher just finding his footing in the major leagues. In 1985, the same year Dwight Gooden won the National League Cy Young Award, Saberhagen won the American League Cy Young Award. 20 wins, 6 losses, and a 2.87 ERA. 2 pitchers, same set, both rookies, both winning the Cy Young in the same season, one in each league. Not every story in the 1985 set belongs to a future star. Some of them belong to a Sunday afternoon, a teenager in a borrowed uniform, and a photographer who didn't ask enough questions. Topps sent a crew to shoot the California Angels. Gary Pettis' younger brother Lynn was at the ballpark that day, 14 years old, shagging fly balls in the outfield with the players' kids. A photographer walked over, said, "Let me get your picture," and Lynn sat in the dugout and posed. That photograph was on card number 497, Gary Pettis of the California Angels, except the face on it belonged to a 14-year-old. Gary found out when a friend called to tell him he looked really young this year. He looked at the card. That was not him. Topps told the press Pettis had pranked him. But in 2018, Gary Pettis gave his own account. Those two stories don't match. And you know what? That card was never corrected.